Good afternoon, morning, night, whatever you are. What the hell? I just felt like going live for the hell of it. There's the link to come on up. We start a bullshit on whatever. Hey, Mammy69, how you doing, gal? Flash from Canada.
Odin, what's up?
Not much. You're up late, you old fart.
It's because I don't have to work tomorrow.
Oh? And here I thought you were a rabbi.
No, not today. Not tomorrow.
Uh, so how's your other business going?
Good, actually. I got a call from Walmart, and they want me to meet on Monday. They got another big job for me to do, so it's going to take me a week just to evaluate and give them a quote on the job. So it sounds like it's a big one.
There's Mr. Jeffrey.
Oh, damn. What?
So you got
Huh?
Huh? What I do?
a quota on a big job for Walmart tomorrow?
Sorry. Huh?
No, no. On Monday, I got to go in. Odin. They called me today, and they say that they got another big job for me. They want me to put together an estimate for them. I mean, it sounds like I'm pretty much going to do the job because with my company, we can do everything that they're asking for. And one thing Walmart wants is somebody that they can just hand it off to and have it completed rather than give it to two or three different guys and have to follow up and all that kind of shit, right? But in saying that, it sounds big enough where the guy figures it's going to take me a week just to review it and estimate and give him a quote. So if I'm looking at a week that, it's going to probably be at least a week and a half, 2 weeks of manpower. So we're looking at another 6 day job for sure.
Damn. Well, sorry, Jeff. We started to talk before you came on.
Hey, no worries, man. I just wanted to say, hey, the Slash there. How you doing, my man? Good to see you.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a while, but nifty, nifty, look who's 50, huh?
Ah, ha, ha. Yeah, right. Uh, yeah, I try not to be reminded of that, but hey, that's all right. That's all right. You got it. I just thought I'd jump up here and say hey to you guys, man.
Miss Joe.
Miss
Hey, Miss
Joe.
Big D.
Miss Joe's in the house. What? So how you been, um, Mr. Canada? How you been doing? You all right? You been doing better or what?
It's been pretty rough, Jeff,
Yeah.
but not something that I think it's something you and I would talk maybe in Discord or somewhere else. I'm not gonna throw that shit out here in YouTube world because God
No,
only
that
knows
no,
what'll
yeah,
happen
yeah,
with it.
just yeah, no,
But
no,
yeah,
no, no, no. Yeah.
it's been quite a challenge, but
Yeah.
it's coming. It's coming, man.
I hear you.
Yeah,
Well, that's
so
good. At least yeah.
Jeff, just so you know, if you looked, I mean, I can't post it, but a month or so ago, we had three WalMarts here, all in Winnipeg,
Uh-huh.
get lit on fire within a
Oh
couple
wow.
hours of each other. And so an insurance company got a hold of my company to go in and do a bunch of work for them.
Yeah.
And as a result, Walmart actually contacted us now and said, "Hey, we like what you did," and now they're asking us to go ahead and do the work. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, Clash. Did I ever say you were like a dad? I got a pocketbook of dudes filled.
yeah, well, there's four others in front of you. So, but
Well, at least you got that going for you, man. I mean, it could be, every time I go, hey, 6 9 every time I go to talking about how bad I got it, it's always somebody else got it way worse than I do. You know what I mean? And it kind of
True
humbles
that.
me when I think about it like that. You know what I mean? These other ones out there, and I'm not saying that you're doing that. I'm just saying every time I do it, every time
sure.
I'm a Debbie Downer or bitching and moaning about all my fucking pains and hurts and agony, somebody like Jason D, with heart transplants out there busting his ass. Here I am complaining. You know what I mean? I'm complaining because my knees hurt, my back hurts, my feet hurt.
Well, hold on, I gotta jump in here. Fuck you, I could be.
Yeah, I seen that. Right. I'm just saying, it could be a lot worse.
Excuse me. You know what, Jeff? There's one thing I learned, many years ago, and I think I've been blessed and fortunate is that about 20 years ago, I had the opportunity of meeting the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, the wrestler, and the gold belt, with all the diamonds. I met with him, and him and I did some touring, and we did some talking with different men's groups and stuff. And there's one thing I learned in life: there's two things you can do. If the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, you got two choices: you build a higher fence, or you water your own grass.
Right.
Water your own grass, right? I mean, yeah, you just never know. I mean, my attorney, we went out for drinks one night to discuss the case, and he said he was going to pick up the tab.
Attorney go out for drinks. Mine never offered me to go out with the drinks. What's up with that, man? That's crazy.
And make a long story short, he pulled out 3 credit cards to pay for the tab, and all 3 were declined because he maxed them out. So you've got this, like I say, just because you see people driving fancy cars, living in fancy houses, and they think they got all that bag of chips.
Yeah.
They got the bag, but it isn't necessarily the gold; it's the debt, right? So
right. Yeah, my dad always, everybody thought my dad had a lot of money because he owned his own business, right? Yeah, he didn't. He just had a lot of debt. That's what he had. You know what I mean? He had a decent looking truck, and work trucks and stuff that he had to pay for. So he just had good credit. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly, right. I mean, you get these places, and they might be a multi-million-dollar company, but hold on a second. Let's take everything that they owe and subtract it from what it's worth, and how rich are they really? You know what I'm saying? You could have a $10 million business, but be $9.5 million in debt. So really, you look like you're all that, but you really don't have that much. Not that 500,000 is anything to sneeze at. I mean, that's a lot of money, but still, they look bigger than they really are.
Absolutely. I'm with you there. Yeah, that's crazy, man. And we don't want to hear no more jokes about skunk water unless you want to play the video and watch it again.
Oh, hell no. Come on.
I can't believe it's still. I can't believe it's still on public. I mean, I hadn't looked. I don't know if it still is, but that's what Joe said.
No, you can do nude because they do have nude yoga on here. You just got to set it up where it's not suitable for kids.
Oh, that's my whole channel. Both of them is not suitable for kids. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I watched, I think, maybe 15 seconds of this video. Someone posted it. Someone said, go to this spot of the video, which was nice. They didn't have to go through the whole thing. Otherwise, I'd probably be still sitting in the corner crying, pulling my hair. Right. But, I mean, I think I ran my eyes through like three cycles down the dishwasher with pure bleach, and the shit's still there, man.
Right.
It's okay that she did that. It's just some things are not meant for my eyes.
Right. They I think it was NJ, I think in Drama Dome said there's not enough bleach for that, man. I'm telling you. Not enough bleach.
Everybody's beautiful to somebody. Now, the clause or the other half to that is that some things are better left to the imagination.
Yeah,
and absolutely. That was one I would rather be left to my imagination to actually have to see that shit.
So you seen it? Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know you seen it, man.
I saw 15 seconds of it, and that was enough. Like I say, I turned it off.
That was 14 seconds too much, right?
I was gonna say 20, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? I ran my eyes through 3 times now on that damn dishwasher with bleach and rinse and sterile cycle, and it's still there.
That's crazy. Oh man, I just don't understand, dude. I don't understand. But hey, maybe it's not for me to understand. You know, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Well, again,
Anyway.
everybody's got their own devices and their own, you know. Like, to me, my wife is the hottest thing on this side of heaven, right? She's the most sexiest fucking thing I've ever seen, right? But yet I know guys that have actually looked at her and said, "Girl, is that your ass chewing? Is that your ass, or is that your ass waddling, or is it chewing bubblegum again?" And I about went over and I was gonna, you know, like I was gonna pull his rectum through his mouth. And my wife's like, "Hey, don't worry about it. You know, who the fuck is he?" So this skanky, whoever she is beautiful to somebody, but just not to me.
I got you. My phone's connecting and reconnecting. What the hell's up with that? I'm sorry. I was muted. I'm sorry, man. There it goes again. What the fuck? I don't know why it's. I don't know. All right, I'm sorry. My bad.
It's all good.
So Jeff, I have been.
Sorry.
I've been away for a while, so I'm not really too sure, and I'm not sure if you can talk about it a whole lot. But what's going on with your court cases there? Are you still looking at possibly jail time, or has that all been sorted out now?
No, I still got to go through the appeal, man. With all this COVID bullshit going on, it'll probably be next year before I get that case over with. That's what they said anyway.
So if you chose not to appeal it because you said, you know, because of appeal and COVID, you would actually be going to jail?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd get 30
how
days.
long?
30 days apiece, so that's 60 days. He gave me the max sentence. So the judge found me guilty of saying bad words to a cop and resisting an investigation or whatever the fuck it says. I can't remember. It's been so long. But it's somewhere along them lines. So he gave me 30 days per offense, right? It found me guilty and gave me the max sentence, which was 30 days apiece. So that's 60 days I'd have to do in jail.
So 30 days for saying bad words to a cop?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. I mean, it sounds crazy because it is crazy. He gave me 30 days for words. Saying fuck off. I told him to fuck off. That's what I told him. And he gave me 30 days.
So you didn't actually look at him and say, you know, like you're a fat fucking hairy knuckle, bucktooth, shit shoveling dank. You just said, I told
him to fuck off.
Right. So you even gave, it wasn't even that you were swearing at him. You just gave a direction, like fuck off.
That's it. I didn't say get the fuck away from. No, I did say get the fuck away from me, but it wasn't like because he was advancing towards me, right? And I said get the fuck away from me, and then he said if you cuss one more time, I'm arrest you, and I said fuck off. So that's when he slammed me to the ground. So yeah, for words, man, I got 60 days for words, and it wasn't even like you know, I can see it if I'd have said you fucking asshole motherfucker or you know, anything like that, right? Or threaten to kick his ass or something or whatever. It was just for words, you know, wasn't even fighting words, you know. It was crazy, man. I still can't believe it, to be honest with you.
Well, see, I have a friend in Minnesota, and I was talking to him, and he was saying that often, and people don't realize it, if you think about it this way, it kind of makes sense, that the judges will often side with the police, but here's the reason why, is if they don't, then the police they're not going to do anything because they know if they do their job and they bust somebody, the judge is going to say, ah, fuck, whatever. Right. And discredit the work that the cop did. So often the judges will actually side on the cops for that simple sake.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on now, this is words we're talking. Yeah. Like, can you imagine if that had been Eric Brandt?
Right. Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, he he hollers and sings a song and everything. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Damn,
.com's got a question. He says, NC Tire Hunter, I hope it ain't off topic. Can I post my video as made for kids as well as audits? If it don't have offensive words, it don't have no abusive language or content, you don't have to set it for 18 plus or 16 plus. You know, you can set it made for kids. And if YouTube,
but you have to edit out. You do have to edit out any kind of swear or foul language, right?
Right. Yeah, but if you make it for if you want it to not be labeled 16 and above, you just got to make sure it don't have those things in it. And you can actually look on the guidelines .com YouTube guidelines, and it'll tell you exactly what words you can't use and stuff, man. They break it down pretty good. I just don't. I just have it that way. That way, I don't have to do every video, right? I just got my whole channel set, especially the ones I go live on. I have them set for 18 plus because, or 16 plus, because it's always something crazy happening. You know what I mean? I'm always GDing, not GDing much, but you know, cussing and raising Cain, and you know, you got half nude people, you know, going across the fucking camera sometimes, you know, and so I just be safe than sorry. I just go ahead and set it for, you know, 16 up or 18 up. That's the way I do it anyway.
Well, it only makes sense because then, then you know, also you don't have to worry about YouTube pulling a video down and possibly getting a strike and all that other kind of shit, right? If you just label it all straight across the board that way, you're safe.
Yep, no doubt. That way I don't have. What's up, X? What's going on, man?
Hey, X Bootlicker. Hey, GD, you fucking troll.
Right.
Fucking leprechaun got out under his pot today. Yeah, did you hear that they're doing a vote on the weed bill? See if it could get passed or some crap.
Huh? Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Did I do what now?
There's a YouTube channel that was talking about the government passing a bill for weed or some shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't hear much of it. It's like, yeah.
What state?
The federal government.
Yeah. Hey, that would be great, man. Shit. I wouldn't have to worry about going illegal when I get me some fucking weed. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, if they legalize it across the whole United States,
I won't have to worry about it then. I could say, y'all fuck off. I'm smoking me a big old fatty for my pain, you know, but as it stands right now, I can't do that. So I'm kind of at a pickle, you know, I'm at a standstill, if you get my drift. Thank you, X. I appreciate that, man. I like to hear that from time to time. I've done a good job. That's awesome. Had a lot of people on the show tonight, man. It got a little crazy there at the end.
some of your mods got a little fillers hurt.
Well, maybe Joe went a little crazy. Now the shit that what was the dude's name? I can't even remember his name now. There at the end was trying to say bad shit about San Joaquin. What was his name? Mars. Yes. Now he doxed him. He put shit in the chat, doxed him. That's why they kept popping him every time he come back. He'd say something else stupid. He even put San Joaquin's address and shit out there. Yeah, they won't no call for that, man. So I don't blame them for kicking him out.
The whole address thing. No, he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, but that's where I think that's where it started. As you know, and I don't allow that. I don't allow that attack shit, man. I try to nip that shit in the bud because it never ends up well. You know what I mean?
The whole public records, like his arrest, that's public record. It's out there.
No,
And it
yeah,
gets
no,
good.
I even showed it. I showed it. I got it on my Discord. I showed everybody about the records. That's not a big deal. Now Sancho had a thumb up his ass or something, man. He was going. I don't understand why he was attacking, like that, man. It just didn't make no sense. It didn't seem like him. But I checked. That was his channel, so I don't know, man. Maybe he just, don't like the kid or something. Maybe I don't know.
Well, El Sancho posted up a video where they did a good detainment, and I thought it was good. The cop sat there and talked to the guy and allow him to go live. The cop did a good job.
No,
And
I
so
have
did
no
the
doubt.
civilian.
I'm sorry, Odin. I have no freaking doubt that they're good cops out there, right? I don't hate cops either. I mean, I try to tell everybody this. I'm not one to cuss them out unless they fuck with me. You know what I mean? If they disrespect me, I'm giving them the finger and tell them to fuck off. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know, man. It just seems like he had a personal, vendetta or something. Maybe not. I don't know, man. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know how to take him sometimes, I guess. But it is what it is, right?
Now, El Sancho, he's a good dude. A little emotional, but he's a good dude.
Well, I mean, the way he was going off, man, it's like I thought I knew him, but I didn't know. He was. I don't know, dude. It's weird. I'm not gonna sit here and bash him or nothing because I wouldn't do that. You know that, but I just didn't. He's never done that before. Not to me. So it's kind of a shock, to be honest with you. I was kind of taken back. I'm like, what? Sorry, I got to take something here.
It just people get their feelers involved, and when somebody calls you a fucking idiot, they blow it out of proportion, and instead of seeing the meaning behind the reason why they're calling them a fucking idiot,
Right.
or the word retard to get offended over.
Well, no, I understand, and I never called him any names or anything. I told him, I did say get off my dick because he just felt like, and I'm sorry that I said that. I was just telling you exactly what I said, right? And it was just, man, it just said every time I would say something, every time I'd say something, he'd say something back, right? Something negative or oh, you're going to show the papers, you're going to show the receipt. I told you I was going to show the receipt. And then he kept talking about me backpedaling. I said, ain't nobody backpedaling. So he was pressuring me, right? He was just throwing jabs and giving me like low blows, you know what I mean? Just like, hey, jab, jab. So, that's when I, told him, stay off my nuts. You know what I mean? And I just don't, he was different tonight for some reason. I don't know what got into him. Maybe talk to him. I guess I could if I knew, if I had his contacts or something. Maybe I would and ask him what was going on. I don't have no hard feelings or nothing.
Everybody has a bad day. Hey, Clash.
Hey, for some reason my phone cut out.
Anyway, I'll shut up.
Love you
We
too.
all have those times, though. We all have those times, Jeff. It's not a big deal. I mean, come on now.
No, I'm good. I'm good, man. It's just, that I don't know. And then, he's going to disrespect me on my channel, which I've never done to him. You know what I mean? What I was getting at is you don't like him, right? If you don't like DSS, fuck DSS. You don't like him, don't like him. Don't like him. I don't care if you do or not, right? But don't come on my channel putting him down and talking all kind of shit about proof and he done this and he done that. Well, do you know the facts? you don't know the facts. If he's not guilty, if he hadn't been found guilty, right, then stay off his back. And now, if he's found guilty, it don't mean he's 100% guilty because of the damn system that we dealing with, government, right? And I will say this: if they actually charge him and he gets found guilty, then I would think, okay, maybe he did do some nefarious shit, right? But until then, he's not guilty in my eyes.
Okay, my opinion, if he gets found guilty by a jury of 12, meaning his own people in his own town found him guilty, I'd have to say, yeah, he's guilty. Can he move forward and learn what not to do and move forward in life?
Yeah, no, if he learns from it, fine, Odin. But I hope you already know this too. If the people in the town don't like you, it don't make a damn if you got 12 in there or not. If there's corruption, and I'm not trying to backpedal and say, well, maybe he's innocent. I don't know, right? For what I know about the man, I don't think he did those fucked up things that they say he did, right? But what I'm saying is if that town despises him, they're gonna make it where he's gonna be guilty. You understand what I'm saying? If they really got it out for him, they're gonna make sure, just like what the DA done today with the 7 charges, right? They're gonna make sure that they make an example out of him, regardless if he's guilty or not. That's my belief. That's my opinion. Okay.
Yeah. For that to happen, it would have to be all 12 people, the whole town against him.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know that they hate him like that. I don't.
I don't see that possible.
Yeah. I mean, hey, come on now. Anything's possible, man. It's not likely, right? But it's possible.
It could happen.
Yes. Right.
Hey,
but I would be more.
Look at Otto.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. Look at me. I got found guilty for words. Right? I didn't do nothing wrong. I was in the legal realm of telling him to back the fuck away from me, and to fuck off. I didn't have to agree or help him in no investigation. He didn't have to come near me. If he'd have left me alone, there wasn't nothing to happen. If he'd have just kept his distance, he could have done all the investigation he wanted to do and went about his merry way. That ain't what happened. He kept coming to me. I told him to back the fuck off. I felt threatened, so I backed up. He kept coming to me. I told him to get the fuck away from me. And then that's when I told him to fuck off. And then I get 30 days for words, which is free speech.
That's called contempt of cop, and you should appeal it.
Right, which I am, NJ, I am. But it shouldn't never go that far, man, because it's corruption. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to go that far, man. It just I don't know, man. It just wastes taxpayers' money.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing.
I got you, man.
Even though I don't know the details of the encounter or the video.
It's on video. I mean,
I know it is. But the other side, I keep saying to people that cops are human, and they're also privy to all the frailties that humans have, including intimidation, including corruption, and everything else that humans are vulnerable to. And you've got bad apples all over in every profession.
Yeah, no doubt, absolutely. Anyway, I'll shut up.
That's one thing what I honestly can't understand. I think you would have a lot more success as a country, because ever since this whole George Floyd thing, defund the police and blah blah blah. No, man, there's no need to defund the police. But what there is a need for is to remove the qualified immunity from the police. Right? Because when that happens, and qualified removed.
Yes.
Yeah, are
Yep.
you aware of the two bills in Congress right now dealing with
I'm not.
qualified immunity? Yeah, each house has its own bill. One house wants to eliminate it, the other house wants to reform it, and they're both moot because Trump has already made public that he will not sign either.
And
Yeah, he needs to go too.
the qualified immunity is only for civil, not criminal.
But still, you know what? Huh?
It's only if, say, they arrested you and you got your butt hurt, you civilly sue them, and it's found unfair or unjust. That's when the qualified immunity should kick in.
Well, but what I'm saying though is that if a cop, outright, and we know they're all human, so I'm not gonna, but if they outright do something stupid, and it's clear to see that what they've done has been an illegal arrest or illegal charges or whatever, they should lose their qualified immunity right off the bat, and the people who are involved should be allowed to go straight after those cops, not the police department, not the state, the county, whatever. Go personally after those police officers for what they did. Let's see the change in the police, and let's see how much asinine bullshit carries on, and how much is more to the books and where it needs to be.
That'd be on the civil side.
Fine, but what I'm saying though is that if a cop illegally arrests me, right, and he knows it's illegal, he brings you up on charges, and we know they're illegal, right, and it's clear, like, just stupidity, right then and there. That's when the people should be able to sue the cop personally, not have to go through, oh, well, he was on duty, so you got to go after the, whatever. I don't know how it works down there, but I mean, honestly, I think if you could actually hold these cops accountable civilly, personally, rather than being protected by the police department or the state or whatever, you're going to see a lot of this bullshit stop. Maybe I should stop thinking.
No, you're good. I think.
All right. Dead air. We don't need that, do we? What?
Oh, I think there should be a amend it where if a cop fucks up severely, like kill somebody, instead of they lose their job and all that, they need a nationwide registration on Joe Smo falsify records on such and such case, and it goes throughout the nation instead of from one town to the next town. 10 years later, they find out, oh crap, he did this, this, and this. What's your thoughts on that, Clash?
Well, I agree 100% too. I agree with you 1,000% on that. That when a cop is fired for, I don't care if it's one strike, two strikes, three strikes, or the severity of it. If a policeman has been, fired, and there's just cause for that firing, then yeah, that needs to be almost like an APB, nationwide. This cop has done this, bam, bam, bam. I don't think that it should be a ban across all 50 states. And that might sound stupid, but I think that every police department in every jurisdiction should be made aware of it before they hire him. If they still choose to hire him, then they're willing to accept the liability that what this person could possibly do to their, to their district or whatever, right?
Yeah. Like, let's say a diver was a cop for New Jersey, and he went and falsified 20 records, and instead of they fired him, he could move up 2 towns and get hired there, the way it is now. If they did a national wide database, as soon as they punch in,
Anymore.
what's that, Diver?
They can't do that anymore. We've passed legislation to prevent that.
Okay. They could do it, punch in his police identification number, say, oh, boom, 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 we can't hire you. What legislation did they pass, Diver?
Yeah, I may be mistaken. I know I haven't been following it. That's my problem. I know there was legislation and there was talk by the Attorney General's office at the beginning of the year when all this demonstrating and rioting against police started. I'm not sure it passed. I shouldn't have said that. I'll have to look at it again. I got so much that I'm looking at. It's hard to keep track of everything.
Oh, it's all good.
And I had to take a break for a minute. I got one of them damn little crickets jumping around in front of my wife. She hates the damn things. I got to kill it.
Hey, Bird.
What's up? Give me a second here, guys, and I'll get all plugged in and shit.
You ain't driving, are you?
I am driving.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry. Oh, shit. Hey, I hate to do it, though. My wife's calling. I'll call you guys right back. Or I'll be right back.
Hello.
The call's right back. Okay.
Yeah, I'll call you all right back. You said you would. Calling me. Somebody say crickets. What? Shouldn't have said crickets if you didn't want the crickets now.
But no, though. I mean, again, at the end of the day, and I think it's more than fair, you know, that if a officer has been relieved of their duty, you know, that all states, you know, every police department should be made aware of what happened. But if say that happened in New Jersey, and this cop goes some small town in the middle of, say, Buck, Minnesota, and they choose and say, yeah, okay, you know what, we want to hire him, as long as they're aware of it and they're willing to accept the liability, the responsibility, I think that should still be left up to the police department. The problem is it's, and I've seen it on numerous times, where the people hiring or the new people that are being, you know, become involved in this person's situation, they're not aware of the past. And if the past is something, you know, egregious as far as the job goes, they should be made aware of it, right?
Yeah.
And like I say, whether that police department chooses to hire them or not, like let's say you get some asshat cop who's nothing but, you know, trigger happy on the radar, and his whole goal and all he does is he, you know, pulls people over and gives them vehicle traffic or violations. And even if a dozen of them have been found wrong, right, and he gets fired for that, that doesn't mean that this small town middle buckfuck nowhere in Minnesota couldn't hire him for commercial fraud. They could hire him in some place where he wouldn't be working the gun, the radar gun, and doing the traffic things, but a different division and a different part of it. As long as they're aware of the you know, the reason why he was let go, and they choose to hire them, that's a different story, right? The problem is they hire them and then they're not aware of it until either they do it again or it's almost too late, and that's what the issue is.
It depends on what the cop got fired for. Say if he pulled 100 people over for speeding and they weren't speeding, they should pull them off the beat, maybe fire them, and allow the other towns decide if they take them or not.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? I mean, could be terrible or a sog or an asshat in one certain part of that job, but that doesn't mean he may not be at the other one. So then you just simply, okay, we're hiring you, but you're not going to be sitting behind the steering wheel. You're going to be sitting behind the desk, and you're doing commercial fraud. or you're doing breaking and enterings or whatever, right? You're doing a different duty or aspect of that job. Now, if that activity or behavior continues where now there's a parallel series or similarity where now it's, stupid ass, charges and things that are consecutive and wrong in that line of work, well, then typically that person shouldn't be with a badge, right?
Yep.
Not a badge and a gun, but more like a badge and a broom. So, but there again, too, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all don't want to be discriminated against, right? As a person, as a people, as a country, as a nation. We don't want to be discriminated against, and we're seeing a lot of that happening now, right? So I think as long as it's fair, like, okay, so the guy fucked up, right? As a cop, he fucked up, right? And even in a case like, let's say, and let's use an extreme case like the George Floyd, where there's excessive force, right? And that cop had a series on his record of arrests with excessive force. Okay, well, officer, we're willing to keep you on the beat, but guess what? Your job's going to be when that traffic light goes out in the middle of 8th and 34th, downtown New York, you're going to be directing traffic. Or when that little old lady needs to cross the street or her cat ran up a tree, you're going to get in it. You're not going to have a gun. You're not going to be doing that type of thing, right? I think there's a point where there needs to be given another choice or another chance, right? God damn, that almost sounded like that was for the cops. And we all know I hate cops, but, again, it's one of those things where
everybody deserves a fair shake in life is what you're getting at.
Well, I think, in a case like that, it's not even, a fair shake is one thing, right? But I mean, if we as a public or as the people, the country are crying saying there's all this discrimination going on, then how can we actually discriminate against a cop like that, right? You just basically, you remove them from that job, let all the rest of them know this should be here. I don't know if they're allowed to be out there or not. But at the end of the day, if I want to hire the cop and put him in a position in my department where what he was fired for would never be an issue or a concern, then I should be able to do that. And he should be able to accept that or give it, a chance to have that. Right? But yeah, that almost sounds like I'm for the police. And I'm really not. I hate them all, but in saying that, I think they all deserve a fair chance too, for some reason.
Yeah, if you guys are looking the private chat, I was wrong. This happened 2 years ago.
What up, Patriot? Hope you're good, Trevor.
Yeah, this was from our top cop, the Attorney General of the state of New Jersey. A new directive that established a uniform policy requiring all law enforcement agencies statewide to establish early warning systems to identify officers at risk for harmful behavior and mandate remedial programs for them before their conduct escalates.
Welcome back, Bird.
What's up, guys?
Not much. We're talking about how much we hate cops.
I would definitely say let's avoid hatred for any group of people.
Yeah, there was a huge expose done by one of the three major newspapers here in New Jersey by the Asbury Park Press called The Shield. If you want to read about what was going on here in New Jersey in previous years, that's the series to look up. And the item that I posted in the private chat is a direct result of that series of articles.
Okay.
Thanks for that. I'll have to take a look at that and see.
I'll post it
Yeah,
out.
the two URLs I posted are from the Attorney General's office in New Jersey. The bottom one is the reform that I read about just now. I can't post them in chat because I don't have a wrench.
You're not social, Ed.
This might be my first panel with Odin, or with him running it anyway.
Yeah. I got good mods, so they should be sensitive.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Dude, what happened to my buddy El Sancho, man?
I don't know, but Liberty Bird, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
So there's a comment here in the chat, in the live chat, saying Liberty Bird in the house. Get your tinfoil hats on, everybody. He's a chemtrail proponent.
Oh,
What the?
Okay, well, it's because you know, we can get into the conversation if you really want to, but pretty much one of my earlier controversies in my channel, because mind you, I'm not really a cop watching channel. I know you guys get a lot of that out of me, especially recently with what has transpired, but my channel is actually supposed to be centered around conspiracy theories and or investigating into certain agencies that may be conducting, you know, secret activities, in my personal opinion, such as the CDC that I try to run the story on, right? So getting to it, in my earlier stages, I was doing a lot of stuff on chemtrails because Harvard studies state that chemtrails don't exist and there's no proof of chemtrails existing, yet the video footage is pretty clear and it shows some very interesting phenomenons that we see directly after chemtrailing comes in cloud systems, which often bring in some pretty interesting storms. So this brings in the thought of what we've conversed about before about cloud seeding and weather modification and so forth. And so that's probably what they're talking about, is that I'm not really an expert in the field. However, I do have some basic knowledge, but it's funny to me that Harvard claims that chemtrails aren't real. They've labeled it into a different study of aerosolic injections, but they claim that they haven't been testing.
Yeah. Sorry, Odin. Are you claiming that the U.S. government is creating work for itself? Because if it needs a big enough storm, FEMA has to step in.
No, that's not what I'm suggesting. But what I am suggesting, based on the evidence and research that I've done behind it, is that the planes that are dispersing the chemicals are owned by Hughes Aircraft Company. Okay, and in addition to being owned by Hughes Aircraft Company, that's right in alliance with another company called Raytheon, which, if you know anything about Raytheon, they are a defense contractor for the U.S. military. So that being said,
here in New Jersey,
it is my belief that the chemtrails or the aerosolic injections that we see transpire do utilize the rain system to distribute some stuff. I personally think it has to do with satellite technology, because part of the patent into the chemtrails, beyond the aluminum oxide, the iron oxide is a agent called barium. And if you know anything about barium, it's the same thing that they use in CAT scans and MRIs to look at your intestines, because it glows, right? Originally, it was a stone used in ancient times for witchcraft, blah, blah, blah. I could bore you guys with this shit all night.
Yeah, and then
I mean, Lieber, thanks for that. Sorry, NJ. You know, thanks for that. I was just, like a 30-second blurb. I want to give you a chance to, you know, kind of defend what's being said, you know, in the chats there. I mean, myself personally, I'm a few sheets into the wind with a few, so you could probably tell me and I wouldn't understand, and you have to tell me again tomorrow. But I appreciate your efforts to working and doing that. And myself, I'm researching a little bit more. If you have any information regarding that, either yay or nay, I'd love for you to get up so I can do the research on it. But
yeah, maybe I'll actually run a show on it here soon, just to kind of recap on some knowledge and some basic information that a lot of the public overlooks. And we can evaluate all sources of information. You know, everything from what the government says to what individual accounts you know, say, to, you know, what the major studies from, you know, places like Princeton and Harvard have to say about it.
Hey, Clash, are you on Mystery 13's server?
Oh, God.
her Discord server?
Yeah.
I think I'm a member of that, yeah.
Yeah, she's got a channel on it.
Oh, don't believe half the
okay.
stuff you read because she
Well,
adds
thanks,
to it.
thanks, NJ Diver, for at least giving me the chance to know another avenue I can take.
Just remember to tie that nut tight on that rope. Falling down any rabbit hole.
oh, okay. So I don't need to bring a tinfoil with me then, huh?
Well, I don't know about the tinfoil, but you better bring a good half-inch or better rope.
Here's an interesting thought for you guys. So the whole idea of tinfoil hat comes off of the knowledge or the label conspiracy theorist or conspiracy theory, which was actually a term that was first introduced by the CIA to combat information against the government that was coming in from legitimate press sources.
Yeah, and they all think it's a Faraday cage for the brain.
Have you ever seen a Faraday cage?
Yeah.
So here's a really interesting story for you guys that you may think that, I don't know, you can take it however you want it, but I was working for a temp service long before I was ever successful in life, right? And in my process of working for fucking $10.50 an hour, I was trying to get better wages. And I pushed this narrative on the people that ran the agency. Eventually, through my work and dedication, they gave me those opportunities. The first in which came at an $18 an hour position at the Nest Building in Boulder, Colorado, which the Nest Building is a U.S. government facility. It also hosts the atomic clock. The reason I know these things is my father actually used to work for them. He'd actually be up at the Flatirons doing stuff on radio towers. So I got to see a lot of that stuff as a kid because, the rules weren't the same as they are now, right? But long story short, they took me back into this area that I'd seen before, which is where all the studio equipment and stuff is, and they have a Faraday cage. And it was kind of funny because I told the gentleman I'd seen it before, and he was a little surprised on that. And then they sat me in front of the TV. And then they made me watch a bunch of clips on the TV and fill out a survey to let them know what I noticed and or didn't notice about it. And by the time it was all said and done, I got paid a full day's wage for 2 hours worth of work of sitting there and watching video clips on a TV.
Yeah, that's a pretty good wage for doing that.
Well, I guess it all depends on what they did to me while I was watching that TV.
You'll never know.
I don't think it's as simple as all that. You know what I mean? There's definitely some interesting thought behind what I may not seen. Was I hypnotized? I don't have a clue, but I know that things only have gotten better in life since that experience. So if they did hypnotize me, hopefully it was for the better.
I don't know. They may want to unhypnotize you.
Yeah, they might want to try again. You mean?
Yeah.
Well, this the thing is that there's nothing wrong with believing in what is right and just and honorable. And if we had more people that were focused on that, there'd be a lot less people doing things like calling the cops for no reason. There'd be cops enforcing law, not opinions, and we wouldn't have to worry about open bias.
Yeah, and it would stop policing on feelers, and we'd have actual laws that make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And then how about if we just got, a lot of these people that are doing criminal shit to become better people and quit doing criminal shit?
Yep.
What we need is less incarceration and more rehabilitation.
Right.
There's plenty of rehabilitation, though.
Well, that's the problem. It is there. Quite a bit of it is still there in the system. It's just that these people choose not to use it. And you're getting people like the few that are being talked about now, both in the fact that they're out there doing things that are not exactly legal, and they're doing and have done things that aren't exactly legal and are under charge for things that they've done or that are not exactly legal, yet they're still out in public doing other things. Hopefully not for long in a certain few cases, but it's interesting. Well, like the old saying says, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with the amount of auditards, auditors, frauditors, and activists that we have out here right now, there is all sorts of grist for the mill for all law enforcement at every level to
You're only
play
missing-
with.
You're only missing one slander name for one group out of all of us, dude, and that's the Constitutionalist. What are you gonna come up for that one?
Because
Activist would be good, but Constitutionalist isn't really an activist, so good luck working on that one.
I didn't say that they were.
No, I know. It's just like there's just so many of us, and then we get labeled into these groups. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with the open bias, right? So,
Yeah.
like, if you look at the first aid community, if Josh Abrams is the representative of the first aid community,
Shit, we're
okay,
fucked.
then well, no, not are we fucked? I'm not part of the first aid community. You can take your first aid community and shove it up your ass, and I'm gonna go with I respect the Constitution, but I don't respect that community, right? Now, the thing is that everybody's on a different level. You got Eric Brandt. He's an activist, in my personal opinion, right? So you take an activist, like Eric Brandt, and then you put him in the same category as other activists that we've seen in the past, and you all of a sudden put them all in the same category, even though some are doing what's right and some aren't. And that's why I'm kind of on this, like, we really need to get past this demographic and this division that we're allowing to take place in both of these communities. If we can't start looking at things at a situational basis and take things for the interaction and the discretion or indiscretions, then we're fucking doing everybody a disservice.
Have you ever heard of Judge Napolitano?
Nope, can't say I have.
Yeah, go look him up. You'll enjoy his work.
Okay.
Here, I'll put his name in the. It's not capitalized properly, but that'll work. He made a speech a couple of years ago on, I think it was CNN, who he was working for at the time, and because he told the absolute truth, they fired him.
Surprise!
Believe it or not,
surprise.
yeah, but get this, believe it or not, he had such a big following that they rehired him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I don't
awesome.
agree 100% with everything that he's expounding, but I think he's got a good head on his shoulder. He's a
What-
retired judge, by the way.
Was he arrested for or sued for alleged sexual assault in the 80s?
No, not that one. No, that was I think that was the one that was nominated for Supreme Court and didn't make it. No, this guy is Italian, and I think the gentleman you're referring to was a black American.
No, he looks Italian to me.
No, well, yeah, no, it's an Italian name.
I mean, come on, hello, he looks Italian to me. What I'm talking about.
No, I don't know. I don't know the gentleman you're referring to. I'm not
Yeah.
sure that that's right about Napolitano, but I've never really looked into his background. Yeah, that's Judge Napolitano. That's him.
See?
Was it successful?
Oh.
Anybody can be sued for anything. It's whether it makes it past the first couple of hearings or even to a hearing, let alone a trial.
That's why it says alleged.
Yeah, you never know nowadays, dude. But I mean, and that's the thing. Like, even a judge that does the right thing can ultimately turn around and make the wrong decision, And I think it all ultimately breaks down to case by case basis. I bet you that the Pope himself makes mistakes, even if it's not recognized by the typical person like me and you.
Now, the Pope's supposed to be God. allegedly.
No, he's God's representative on planet Earth. Unfortunately, he's human like everybody else, and he has the frailties and the mistake making capabilities as
Well,
everyone else on the planet.
I'm a little confused there, NJ. So did Jesus or God ordain that, or did the Pope
No, the
himself
Catholic
ordain that?
Church.
Yeah, and that's, I think, kind of a misconstruing of knowledge, man. Just based on the fact that it's my knowledge that we were told that we would have the Holy Spirit in representation of God and Jesus.
Well, he's the head man of the Catholic Church, and I won't say that everything he says goes, but he does have quite a bit of influence around the world to all the Catholics. He's got no influence on me, but
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
not
mean,
Catholic.
yeah, I mean, I guess you got a point. He definitely has this ideology behind his position, and then ultimately a position that people will bow down to and worship, which is pretty
Yeah,
great.
well, there's been popes for thousands of years.
Oh yeah, some better than others. I mean, I got to say,
Absolutely.
I don't think they've all been evil.
Well, I'll wager some Muslims would question that for you, but yeah.
Well, at the same time, I don't think that all Muslims are evil, bro. I think that it all breaks down to a situation by situation basis. You got to realize, man, that there's religions all across this world that are different than the religions which we take on, here at home or the next place. And that's the great thing about America, is that it doesn't matter what your religion is. You don't have to believe in my Jesus. You don't have to believe in the God of Abraham, right? I'm not forcing that on you. Now, mind you, it is important to keep in mind that this nation was founded on the principles of the God of Abraham. Okay. At the same time, we have freedom to religion. So if you want to be a Buddhist, you have a right to be a Buddhist. If you want to be Muslim, you have a right to be Muslim. If you want to believe in nothing, you have the right to believe in nothing. And
Yeah,
that,
and we have developed the separation of church and state, even though it's never really written down anywhere.
yeah, and well, I mean, I think it's implied by the First Amendment, though, right? So any which way you slice it, I believe that that's one of the things that makes this nation so great,
From
because
what?
it removes the ability to press bias against the next group.
Yeah, well, the reason I say that is because it's been established through case law rather than being written into the Constitution. But there is still a great influence on politics from religion.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I got to say, one of the most hogwash things that I see. I mean, so there's a difference between people that are running that are believers, and then people like Trump that use the angelical fucking church to ultimately go into his evangelistic ways of you can pay to praise, or however that works, right? My position on it is quite simple. Like, you look at Ben Carson per se, right? He was in the running. Ben Carson was a pretty decent representation of a modern day, American Christian, which I think would be a great representation for this nation at some point. Unfortunately, that's not what we get, right? George Bush was supposed to be that. That might be semi-accurate to senior, but I have my doubts about that. But it definitely is not accurate to junior by any means. So, up. I got some action from CSU police. It's time to move, ladies and gentlemen. So,
Yeah, that's
anyway,
right.
you
I
guys
got
go and talk.
fireworks going
Check
off.
it out real quick.
I got fireworks going off in my neighborhood again.
Uh-oh.
They used to be illegal, not anymore. All the stuff I used to play with as a kid, you go to the local bodega or Five and Dime or what have you, and you could buy the little snakes that you light up and the little poppers that you used to throw at each other that would pop. And now you can buy small fireworks. I forget exactly what the limits are as far as a mortar type is concerned, but Yeah, I'm listening to him go off around the corner from my house right now.
I think Pennsylvania and New Jersey legalized it where everybody could get it.
Yeah, we did, but only certain sizes. I don't know if they go by the grams of powder or by the size of the explosive in the way it's made. I know some M80s, boy, you could blow your hand off with them.
Or make a bigger hole in your backyard.
Yeah, or you. I
That-
know I've had an inch and a half go off in my hand prematurely. It is not fun. I should have known better than to light that fuse. I should have pulled it out a little bit. It was frayed and jumped. Yeah, that's what happens when you're 14 years old and you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, young and stupid.
There you go. I was being polite.
Hey, Odin, you want to blow this up and then save it for me, buddy?
I could. Should I figure out how?
Been, trying to keep my eye on CSU today. So
The
today we're
officers
with
of-
this guy.
Yeah, the officers of CSU.
Oh yeah, officers from CSU has someone pulled over here.
On campus or off?
Where does it look like I am?
I'm
You guys
not putting
me
you in
right
that
now.
pot, my friend.
Don't worry, I'm doing good here. You guys being harassed? No?
Oh, he's turning it. He's watching you.
Oh yeah, he loves me. I try to get past his light here for you guys so you don't have to see all that.
Zoom in. That,
He's off property and he's arresting somebody or pulling over.
Yeah, so he's definitely not on CSU property, but they have some agreements with the sheriff,
called
I guess, ultimately. I mean, I think that's who ultimately signs off on it. That gives them special jurisdiction to run DUI enforcement, but sounds like these guys are sober over here.
that's called reciprocity. You shake my hand, I'll shake yours. Mutual aid is another agreement.
No worries. I'm just filming, buddy. So yeah, that's pretty typical for them though to come out here and run DUI enforcement, and their jurisdiction's actually extended, believe it or not. So yeah,
My problem is with these private entities having police. Why do private entities have police that can arrest people?
Because
Yeah,
they have the money to get the legislation passed.
No private business.
well, actually,
has
this
a-
actually kind of breaks down to backdoor deals. Like I ran a story on a place called NoCo Raid, and NoCo Raid ultimately allows officers to have jurisdiction that typically they wouldn't have. So you got cops from Windsor going into Fort Collins, and Fort Collins going into Lafayette, or I'm not Lafayette, Loveland, right? And so this allows these officers to actually have special powers under these backyard or backdoor handshakes being made between departments. And
I don't
put under the
think-
guise of a task force.
I don't think school police that's hired by the school, like a college school, let me put it that way, a college that isn't getting any federal money should have arrest records or arrest rights outside of their jurisdiction, meaning the school campus.
How about a gun?
That too.
It brings up interesting conversation nonetheless.
Yeah, That's one of the first jobs when I turned 18 that I applied for was campus police at the William Patterson College. I guess it's Haledon, just north of Patterson. And during my interview with the young lady that I was talking to, uh, she asked me, "Are you aware that you need to qualify for a firearm with this job?" I said, "No, I didn't know your campus police carried weapons." And she said, "Yes, they do." And I said, "Well, thank you for your time, as I didn't want to have one because I was afraid I'd use it."
You guys want to see something stupid that you may or may not appreciate? Watch what's about to happen. Hey, boss, before you leave, you got a card? Why do you need a card? Well, I was going to tell you that I appreciate the fact that you haven't bothered me or interrupted my filming. It's the second time I stopped you, and you've been really respectful to my camera, and I appreciate that. All right. Yeah, you have a good night.
Well, that was.
Well, you heard it there, folks. So that's one of the few CSU officers so far that hasn't harassed, bothered, or done anything that's offensive in my personal opinion. Just saying.
I wonder if he
And
let
there
him
he
go
goes
with
on.
a warning.
What's that?
I'm wondering if he let them go with a warning. I didn't see any paperwork.
Yeah, that's actually the second stop tonight. He's issued no paperwork. In fact, I'm not too sure if he's not just kind of profiling, people as, potential students into mischief and then pulling them over for that. But I'm not going to also subject myself to saying I know what his intent was or if he had anything on him. So.
No, he looked like he was basically he ignored you and you ignored him, and you both did your job. You record
Yeah,
him, you
absolutely.
did.
Well, and the great part about that, Odin, is that's twice tonight. So twice tonight, I've rolled up on his stops. I've, circled his car and videotaped him in the process of issuing tickets, and he hasn't harassed me whatsoever.
That's good.
Well, it shows respect.
Do you think perhaps we should start a list of good cop, bad cop?
That's funny because I already have.
That's why I said it.
There's actually officers. There's actually officers involved with both my arrest and my citation that I got, which you guys all know is fucking bullshit. But truthfully, there's two officers involved in that situation that showed great restraint and respect, in my personal opinion, and one of them issued me a fucking ticket. Now, I think that she fucked up, but she was also the newest girl on the fucking payroll. Just doing what the guys say. They fucking exploited her pretty fierce that day, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got to answer something that A Balance put in the chat. I don't know if he's still around, but hey, A Balance, if those holes are there, how come nothing leaks out when I barbecue something in tin foil? How come my wife never has a mess on her pan when she wraps something in tin foil if there are tiny perforated holes in it, making it useless against RF wave?
Well, that's awesome, dude. That'll be the first positive feedback I can give back to Frank Johnson about his fucking force in fucking months.
Well, you ought to give it to him. That way he knows you're not totally biased.
No, I think he absolutely deserves to know which officers are fucking being respectful to the camera, my rights. And like I said, so now how do you approach me? Told me to back up, bark some bullshit orders. You know what I mean? Like any of those things, I would have docked that dude on. You know what I mean? I would have just like, bam, -1 for you, asshole. I'm just gonna keep it to myself. But then I would have let him continue, to dig his own fucking grave and make himself look bad. But when you have encounters like that, those encounters right there look good on his whole fucking department, right? Like it shows a higher level of professionalism. He wasn't on some, for officer safety, you need to step in front of my light where your camera can't film. Like it was none of that. So yeah, my hat's off to that guy. He's fucking respectful as fuck.
Well, then again, you were kind of close. If you say, "Hey, could you back up a couple more feet?" And I could see, yeah, do it.
Yeah, well, and I try to give him actually a reasonable distance, I feel, but at the same time, if he did feel uncomfortable and he asked me to take a couple of steps back and I felt I was being invasive, I think that that's more than reasonable. I'd take a couple of steps back. You know, if he told me that I needed to go 20 yards to the right, I'd say, you know, tape it off, motherfucker. So that officer's name is Jeff Goetz, Goetz, badge number
Fox now.
798. So yeah, Jeff Goetz, man, he did a really good job. I gotta say, I'm proud of that guy, and I'm happy to have him patrolling the community.
One thing I think they should do for the officers is give them a number and say, "Here's my identification number," and take out his first name and out where they live, because there are cops out there getting killed because of the situation now.
Yeah, that's true, but I gotta say, how many how many good cops are really being targeted? You know, if there's a bad interaction and someone targets a certain individual, you know, because of their indiscretions, you know, welcome to the land of free decision making, and you know, you're gonna have to suffer the consequences of your actions one way or another. But at the end of the day, you know, transparency and dangerous freedom trump your fucking opinions and feelings, in my opinion.
Yeah. I could see the reason why they don't want their private information out there, or live in a place where you shouldn't harass the wife or the husband or the kids over the officer's fuck up.
Yeah,
hope that
well, I
comes
know
out.
I'll definitely be sending Jeff Goetz a fucking email to thank him for the respect that he's shown. We'll highlight him in a positive note, because I got the footage that you have now, plus I have the footage from earlier, which I'll probably just use the footage from earlier for that story. And then yeah, that dude ultimately deserves a, you know, a pat on the back if he's not out here fucking around and you know, pulling stupid shit. You know, he's definitely one of the few that are worth the respect that we show. Eat that, all you fucking frauditors. So many people hate me now. They're like, oh my God, Bird's objective.
Monkey fucking a football. Okay.
Monkey ate a football?
No, monkey fucking a football.
Oh, monkey fucking a football. That's funny, dude. Anytime someone makes a monkey reference, I think about Monkey 83.
There's what he said.
Yeah, he was in the chat of another panel I was on a little while ago.
That's my dude, man. He's a good dude. Hard worker too. If you ever need a fucking strong laborer, man, he definitely puts in some work.
Monkey 83. Monkey 83.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Yep, he did some labor for me, man. He definitely outshined the rest of his group when he was out here. Better fisherman too. That motherfucker was killing it at the lake.
Alright, since there's only 12 people watching, not participating.
You gonna shut it down?
Yeah.
Yeah, better. They're better. Echo in here. Echo.
Whoops. Fair enough. Well, thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be on your show for the first time and do a live cop watch. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. See,
I'm glad it turned out well.
Yeah, it's always nice. I think that that's the best result, NJ, is anytime that you can have